Good morning, I'm Lee Smith, Superintendent of Mena Public Schools. I'm trying to come to you each month, usually within the week of a board meeting, to give you some updates and fill you in on some information of things that are happening in the district that parents and community members may be concerned about. So I'm here to share that information with you again here today. I'll begin with reporting on our COVID numbers and the situation where we are at school right now. As of yesterday, we have 7 active cases of COVID right now among employees and students here in the district, which is really good. And that's the trend that we've seen over the last couple of weeks, is that our numbers are staying very low. And we have roughly 48 people that are either quarantined or isolated due to COVID. So that's good, and those numbers continue to go down. But it's a cool, crisp morning. One of the first cool days we've had to indicate that fall is coming. And with that, we also have the potential for illness as we get into the cooler months. So we want to keep taking actions to prevent COVID from spreading. We have not changed any of our policies with regard to masks or vaccines or anything like that. We still highly encourage mask wearing to prevent quarantining and the spread of COVID, and also encourage those who have not to become vaccinated, as we're seeing some impacts there. So that's where we are with COVID. At last night's board meeting, we began with my superintendent's report, and the focus was on academics, because since we had our COVID outbreak back in 2020, we've had what we've referred to as a learning loss. So we finally have some numbers to indicate just what that learning loss is, and I wanted to share it with you all. This video will be followed by another one that will likely be posted tomorrow or maybe later on in the week about the things that we're doing to address the learning loss. But I want to give you an academic picture right now. We have our ACT Aspire scores from last year, and comparing those to the 2019 year, which was the last time we took the ACT Aspire. Overall, the district saw actually a 6% gain in reading scores, but a 10% decrease in math, which on the surface may not seem that alarming, but there were some concerning points to this, and as far as different grade levels that did see a decrease, and those are the ones that we're concerned about. To begin with, our 11th grade saw a 30%, this is next year's seniors, our 11th grade saw a 30% decrease in reading and a 31% decrease in math. 6th and 7th grade had a 23% and a 22% decrease in math, respectively. And 10th grade saw a decrease in reading by 11% and math by 28%. Louise Durham had a small loss in reading proficiency compared to the last beginning of year scores that we were able to get, and there was a 12% decline due to the COVID shutdown and also the quarantines and isolations that took place last year and the number of days that students missed. But overall, Louise Durham has seen a slight gain over the last 4 years of 4 to 9% in either reading or math. Holly Harshman in middle school right now, by using beginning of year assessments, have roughly 75% of their students overall that are close or below proficiency in reading and math. So that's a major concern for us right now. And we're taking steps to academically during the school day, of course, with the professionals that we have that we're referring to as RTI professionals. That's response to intervention. These are individuals who use this information and use diagnostic tests to determine where each student is having difficulty, and using intervention methods to help them overcome it. Those take place during the school day, but we will also be starting tutoring as well very soon. And following this video later on this week, we will have another conversation about the tutoring efforts being offered on each campus to provide your students with the supports that they need. So our academic picture is concerning, and we're not surprised, since we had lost a couple of months of school when we first experienced COVID shutdown, and then last year all of the quarantining and the catch-up that had to be done was very much a concern. And so we're seeing that right now, but we're trying to address it, and we need your help as parents and community members to give us the support we need by having your students try hard in their interventions and to take part in the tutoring that we offer. In other business, we took care of the 21-22 budget was approved as presented. The school district is in good financial condition, and so that budget was approved. We also have an ARP plan that is on our website. If you haven't seen it, it's shared on our website on the home page if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and that is the American Rescue Plan, and that plan outlines how we're using the federal dollars that we're getting in response to COVID to fulfill some of these actions that I've been referring to, like the RTI and the tutoring and other things that we're doing to control the spread of COVID and address all of the problems that it's brought about. So I invite you to visit that plan as well. We took feedback from the community in order to make that. Some of you may have responded to some surveys that were sent out earlier in the year to help us build that, so we thank you for it. We also took care of a few other standard items of business. The standards of assurance was approved, and that goes to our State Department. The resolution for Act 1120, that's the resolution that approves any employee that had a 5% pay increase. That was approved, which just about every employee did due to the extra pay that was given for COVID responsibilities. Another item of business that was taken care of was a board zoning resolution. This is happening in a lot of school districts in the state because of our latest census. The latest U.S. Census shows that our district now has over a 10% population, 10% minority population is actually 13.6%. And by the Federal Voting Rights Act and Arkansas state law, that requires the district to be divided into zones. So the board passed a resolution to be drawn to be divided up into 5 zones and keep a 7-member board, with 2 of those members being at large. And that process will continue. It has to be complete by December so that the election commission and the county clerk can create all the voting records for each voting records of members for each zone. So more information about that will be coming as it develops, but that's all we have at this moment is the resolution which was passed. The rest of the meeting was about financial reports, and those were all approved, and with that the board meeting was adjourned. So I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this. Again, I ask you to keep watching our Facebook for the videos about the tutoring programs and the response to intervention programs that we have available for your students, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.